Hey folks, it's Ben Greenfield, and I love me a Mexican mocha, but unfortunately, some of the ones at coffee shops are a little bit suspect when it comes to ingredients. So today, I'm going to show you, or more specifically, my wife is going to show you how to make your own Mexican mochas at home using a blender and a few healthy ingredients. So, here's Jessa.
Hi, how's it going? I'm going to show you how to make a almond milk Mexican mocha with my Omni blender. We do almond milk at our house because we have a few people who cannot handle the cow stuff. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want 4 cups of water, filtered water preferably, and then you're going to want a cup of soaked raw almonds, and I've soaked these for about 12 hours. So they're ready to go, and they're actually kind of right on the verge of sprouting, if you can tell right there. Those little white tips at the end, that's what happens. So I'm gonna throw those in there. So you got a cup of almonds, 4 cups of water. I did a zest of 1 orange. You don't have to do this, but I really like the fresh zing it gives. So I'm gonna throw a zest of 1 orange in there. And then, obviously I haven't opened this up. You're going to want to do about, I'd say, a teaspoon of this stuff. Here, we're just going to take it right off. I'm sorry, I'm going to get my teaspoon.
Cinnamon, right?
Cinnamon, yes. And cinnamon is great for regulating blood sugar, and there will be a little bit of sugar in here, not like raw sugar like you're thinking, but I'm sorry, refined sugar like you're thinking, but it's going to be sugar from dates, which is also a great source of fiber, and it's just it's a much better option than regular sugar.
Anything special about these dates? Like, where'd you get them?
I got these ones at Trader Joe's. Make sure they're pitted. These ones obviously aren't, so you're going to want to make sure they pit them, which is really easy to do. You just have to squeeze them open. Yeah, and I use, if I'm going to use cocoa powder, I use 10 dates. If I use something like carob powder, which is already naturally sweet, I will use about 6 dates.
And you're just tossing them in there. Just
yep.
It out and tossing them.
Yep. They're going to get obliterated by this blender, by this Omni blender. This does a great job of destroying anything that is whole. Okay. So we got 5 in there. Let's see here, 6.
By the way, while you're putting those, as far as that orange goes, you just use like a regular zester. You just zest the skin off and toss it in there.
Yep. Make sure you wash it though, your skins, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't want...
Rinse the orange first.
Yeah.
Just a regular orange from the grocery store.
Yeah, and preferably organic because they don't wax their oranges. Anything that's traditionally grown is always waxed. So you don't want to get the wax inside your food. So that's, I would suggest using organic if you have the availability of that. Next, you're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla. If you have a vanilla bean, that's a better option because vanilla contains alcohol in it generally, which some people don't prefer. So if you don't prefer that, use a vanilla bean.
But you're not gonna like get drunk off your
No, but some people, just have a problem with that, and that's fine.
Okay.
I don't personally. So we're gonna use a teaspoon of vanilla, and then you're gonna need cocoa powder, which is right here.
It's not looking that appetizing right now.
Not right now. It won't. It will be really good. And let's see here. So
this is the cocoa?
Yes, I'm using cocoa. I'm not using carob, but like I said, if you wanted to use carob, only use about 6 dates because carob is already sweeter than cocoa. Cocoa is very bitter, obviously.
This is regular cocoa from the grocery store?
This is Dutch. I like Dutch cocoa powder the best. So this is 1/4 cup. I'm gonna drop it in there. All right, so those are all the ingredients except for, I like to put in a little bit of salt, which most people don't really think to do, but it kind of balances the sweetness. It just gives it a more fuller flavor, in my opinion. So I put in about 2 pinches of salt. There you go. All right, now until you kind of stop hearing the almonds clicking around in there, because then you know they're totally whipped up.
Okay.
So one of the things that I really like about this is they have like this auto pulsing option here, and then they have the manual pulsing here, which I know my Vitamix didn't have, which is nice because sometimes things will not, if it blends too much, it all floats to the top. So the pulsing allows it to come back, settle back down, and then get the other stuff blended in. So I really like that feature. So we're gonna use it. Stops and then it goes again.
That stopped all on its own?
Yeah.
How did it know how to do that?
Well, that's set for 90 seconds. 90, 60, or 35.
Okay, cool. Okay, go 90 seconds, so.
Yeah, then it'll stop and then it'll do it over again. Yeah, let's keep doing it over and over again unless you stop it. See, there it goes again. I think that's pretty good. Now, you have an option here. You can either strain this through a milk bag, or you can just drink it as is.
Now, can you mix it with coffee? Like put espresso shots and stuff like that?
I actually really like this stuff.
Because obviously, like, if you want to have it mocha.
Yeah, well, mocha just means chocolate, actually, honey.
Okay. I thought it had coffee in it.
No, this doesn't have coffee in it, but I like to put cold pressed coffee in it in the morning.
Oh, yum.
Or I like to leave it this way too, because then my kids have the option of drinking this. This is actually a great treat for kids.
Gotcha.
They really enjoy this stuff. So, so I like to keep it in this form rather than putting coffee in there if you have kids.
And what are you doing now with this thing?
This thing is a nut milk bag. If you don't like the texture of the almonds, because there will be some almond pulp in here, you can have it pulp free or with pulp, like orange juice. I prefer it pulp free. Just because it's smoother. So what I do is I just get like one of my handy pitchers out here, throw this nut milk bag in. You can also use old washed nylons. Please wash your nylons if you're going to use it for this for food. Because you just cut the feet off and just wrap it over the pitcher, and it's pretty effective. It won't last as long as one of these bags will.
Okay.
It'll eventually get holes in it, and it'll start, you know, not filtering as well. And this thing, the reason I got these is they just last a lot longer. So I'm just going to pour it in here.
Looks so good.
It smells good too.
Yeah, it does.
And I just pull it up like this. It's kind of full, so.
And just let that sit for a while?
Yeah, you gotta milk it like you milk a cow.
Milk it like you milk a cow.
There you go. I'm not gonna squeeze it too hard because it's really full right now.
Okay.
But you kind of get the idea. And this will store in your fridge for up to 3 days.
Nice.
So.
What do you do with that leftover almond pulp?
Well, this one, since it already has kind of flavoring in it, I could mix it into some kind of like chocolate spread or something like that. If I just do plain almond milk, you can do all kinds of things with it. You can make like Mexican spreads. You can make honey. I do a honey garlic one, which is really good. A honey garlic mustard one sounds amazing, actually. So you can really add any kind of flavor you want to, because it's pretty neutral. So whatever kind of spread you're in the mood for, you can use the pulp for that. So don't throw, or if you don't want to use the pulp and you garden, you can throw it in your compost pile, which is a great use for it. Do not feed it to your pets, especially your dogs. It'll kill your dogs. So there you go. There's a couple of uses for it.
Cool. Looks good. Is that it?
That's it.
Awesome. So that is how to make your Mexican mocha using your Omni blender.
That's right.
Enjoy. Our favorite new discovery.
Yes.